How's it going, everyone? Back with another episode of First Floor. I'm here with my brother Jackson. How's it going, man?
What's up, guys?
Thanks for coming on today.
Of course.
What do you usually go by? Jackson, Jax?
Jackson. Some people call me Jax.
Yeah, for sure. So, can you just break down what you do, what your company name is, all that stuff?
Sure. So yeah, I'm the creative director. So we do a few different things here. Elwood's kind of the main brand.
Yeah.
It's our direct-to-consumer brand. So we do it mainly all e-commerce, elwoodclothing.com. And that's kind of how this whole thing started.
Yeah.
And then since then, so we're owned by a larger manufacturer called Tops and Downs.
Yeah.
I'll kind of get into all that. But they have relationships with like the big box retailers, so Target, Walmart, Kohl's. And basically we kind of took the success of Elwood and then since then have kind of pieced off these different diffusion labels.
Yeah.
And now we kind of design directly for those guys. And we do kids lines now. And then kind of the newest thing we're working on, this lounger, and now we just built this. So this just got finished.
Yeah, this spot's sick right here.
Yeah, this used to be our warehouse for our .com, and then we kind of outgrew it all. So we have a big warehouse actually out in Chino Hills.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just kind of our lounge now. We're working with influencers, so we use kind of our blanks and our experience in like sourcing and manufacturing garments. And then kids who have, let's say, 1 million followers, 2 million followers, they'll come in here and they want to start a clothing brand.
Yeah.
And we kind of work with them and like design their own labels and all that. So
That's all pretty sick too. I know the Chino Hills stuff because one of my friends works at a Chino Hills company. That's why I mentioned
all those huge factories out there, and there's also a bunch of cows out there.
Shit ton. Yeah. I live kind of like, yeah, it does. I live like kind of not that far away from it. There's some good.
But we have a huge, it's like a 400,000 square foot warehouse out there. But yeah, it's huge.
All for garments. Yeah. So if we could just get into like young Jackson, where were you born at?
So I grew up in Malibu.
Okay.
Right down the coast.
Do you think we could scoop the mic? Yeah, there you go, like that, if that works.
I live in Venice now with my girlfriend. And like I said, I come from like kind of like you. I come from like a third generation clothing family. Yeah. So my dad, my grandpa, they were all in clothing. So I just kind of grew up in that industry. I also have 3 sisters. So women's clothing was like my life.
Yeah.
I was like a little skate surf kid from Malibu. So I didn't like clothing at a young age.
Yeah.
And then I think like when I got to be the age, 14, 15, you start like
trying to dress up. Yeah.
Dressing up a little bit. I thought it was a really cool way to just like express I could never draw or paint or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I took a design class in high school and learned, Photoshop and Illustrator.
Graphic design stuff?
Design and started, fucking around, doing some t-shirts and stuff. And then I started working for Elwood and just kind of interning my way up and learning the business. And then now
what's it like growing up in Malibu? It's pretty nice out there.
It's pretty secluded out there. It's a small like graduating class of like less than 200 kids. So everyone knows everyone. And there's one high school out there. But then you have LA over here. So like we grew up, coming out to Venice to party and going to Hollywood. So it was kind of the best of both worlds because you're in that secluded like little community.
Yeah.
And then you have all what LA has to offer, Lakers, Dodgers, and all
everything
that stuff.
Else. Did you like grow up into liking sports or anything like that?
Yeah, I played sports my whole life. And I think like for me, music really, like I was super into hip hop.
Yeah, for sure.
And I remember like when A$AP Rocky like first started rapping about like, Isabel Marant and Donna Karan, it was like all of a sudden like it was cool. To like know how to dress. And I think since then it's just now with Kanye and everything.
Yeah, he's for sure one of the ones because I remember him in high school. He came up like he was extra fresh and just
he
like
was kind of early on it. Like it was still people were still the whole like big white tees. It was still almost like bad to like be into fashion as a guy, and I feel like that just kind of opened everything
because it was like back in the day it was like for sure Kanye and like Pharrell, and then
they were doing the whole like Bape and
and
shit,
then
but like
A$AP came with a different
he started rapping about like high-end couture, and you're just like, and then you have all these kids like googling like who are these designers, Raf Simons, who the hell is that?
No, he for sure is a pioneer of this like younger dudes dressing fresh and spending that money.
And we met at Agenda a couple of years ago.
Yep.
So we just had Agenda in Long Beach last week.
Were you digging that, or how was it?
I feel like the whole trade show industry is just kind of dying. That used to be, as a brand, to be able to go to a trade show, that's where brands went to write orders and do the bulk of their business. Now it's more for just like showing face.
Yeah,
and
literally,
and
shake hands.
And you never know. Like we met through that. I've met a lot of great business connections through that I would have never met if I didn't go. So we still participate, but every year it's just less brands, less traffic. So
now they're trying to switch it over to like music and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're starting. Complex Con was a huge success because like the whole model of kids, you know, a product being designed and then a buyer buys it 8 months out and then it's finally there. Kids want it right away.
Instant,
So they want to be able to go to the actual trade show and buy the clothes right there. So that's kind of why Complex Con was born.
It works out for it.
And the music and all that. There's just more things to tie into
for sure, Especially because now I feel like music is literally leading fashion now.
For sure.
Like it's no longer like the dude, like the kid doesn't want to be like a basketball player. He wants to see like a rapper.
For sure. And what I always say is like, when you think of ball players, like you think of a LeBron James, you think of him in a jersey. Yeah. When you think of a rapper, you think of them on stage. So their jerseys are fashion.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like, the reason I got into clothing was hip hop. And I think, if you look at who sets the trends, it's the
hip-hop.
Kanye's and the ASAPs and the Rihanna's
and the rappers and shit. So
it's crazy how that's kind of escalated.
For sure. So, what did you do in high school other than like just normal stuff? Did you party at all? Were you like?
I surfed a lot. I mean, growing up in Malibu, like right
just
with the
surfing.
Beach, so like everyone grew up surfing, and it's a big party place. You know, there's a lot of money in Malibu,
for sure.
And a lot of it's not that like suburban type of money where like the cookie cutter homes. There's a lot of money, but then there's a lot of empty houses, a lot of second, third homes. So we had friends who every weekend just had an empty house just to party in. So
that's pretty sick.
There's definitely a lot of drug use.
And just crazy shit. It's because these dudes got money and just like what else to do.
For sure.
Did you attempt to go? So you graduate high school. Class did you graduate? What year?
I graduated 2010 high school, and then I went to Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, okay.
So another kind of party school.
Yeah. Oh, so you went to go to college?
I went to college for 4 years, and I studied business operations.
Okay.
So a lot of people ask me that because like I design now. But I didn't go to FITM or Otis or any of those schools, and I always thought like, if you can learn the business side of something, you can kind of figure out the other pieces. You can always hire someone that's a graphic designer. That. But there's a lot of kids that come out of design school. They're great designers. They have great ideas. They have no clue how to turn it into a business
skill. Yeah, exactly.
So I kind of did it a little bit backwards. And I have an amazing team now. I mean, you saw the building.
Yeah, it's sick.
We have a 28-person team now. So we're kind of
big.
Yeah.
That's tight. So do you like the whole college thing? Do you wish you didn't go, or do you kind of like appreciate going?
I think it's changing, you know. I kind of consider myself, I was born in 1992, so I didn't grow up like in high school with Instagram on my phone and all that. So I feel like nowadays, like I learn more from watching YouTube videos than I did in college.
I call it YouTube University, bro.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, I'm curious, like my kids, you know, will doing that 4-year college with $200,000 worth of debt. Like,
does it mean anything?
I don't think so. Now, if you're going to be a doctor
or a
lawyer, you got to go to college, you got to get the degree. But if you want to get into business, it helps to like learn the terminology about accounting and financing. But you dive into YouTube for a couple hours, you can learn just about
even just getting in there and trying it, bro. Like it really is not that hard to start a brand at 15 and just like fail.
For sure.
Try it and fail.
You have to make mistakes. Like, the other thing is like a lot of people are so in this age of like entrepreneurship, you know, everyone on Instagram's a CEO.
Yeah, they're just trying to put that title and shit.
Everyone wants to own their own business, and my whole thing is like, get out of college or whatever you're doing and go work for someone else.
Yeah.
You know, intern, make mistakes on someone else's dime.
Exactly.
And
then
when you have 5-10 years of experience, you know what to do and what not to do. Then you start your own thing.
Yeah.
So I think, college, like looking back, it was a great experience. You know, you're on your own for the first time.
Yeah.
You learn how to
get to meet some chicks.
Yeah, pay rent. And, like, you learn all those things.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the curriculum and the education, I don't think it's that necessary.
Yeah, it's for sure different.
It's just about getting in there and learning.
That's it. Yeah. So, what does fashion and clothing mean to you?
So for me, like, when people talk about like fashion or you're a fashion designer, I started making clothes, just like clothes that I liked.
Yeah.
I didn't approach it from like a fashion or a couture, like what does this represent?
Yeah.
It was more of like, I don't see what I like out there, so how can I
make it
that type of product?
Yeah.
So I don't even like using the word designer. Like when people are like, oh, you're a designer, I'm like, kind of. That's like an aspect. It's more of like creating a product line, more of like almost like a clothing producer. You know, it's like you look at like DJ Khaled, and he
produces the music.
He always like he produces the music. Yeah. He's not the one sitting there engineering the track. Yeah. He's the one that like brings it together. Yeah. He creates the track. He gets the artist. He gets the beat. He gets the studio time. And I feel like that's more me, like a clothing producer. I have designers under me, salespeople. So it's like more about bringing that process through and through.
Yeah, I kind of like doing that way because like you don't have the stress pretty much of everything on you, so you kind of just like flow and just like
for sure
naturally just like pick and choose the shit
for
that you like.
And then you learn like a lot of people they think they want to do one thing and they put all their eggs in that basket of like, I want to be a designer, so I'm going to go to FITM and learn how to sketch and all that, and then they get in the industry and they see themselves like peeking over at the sales team and like maybe they're more interested in sales. And you don't like really know until, to your point, you just get into it and start trying different things. But a lot of times we hire people like, okay, you have talent, you're hungry, let's bring you in and then we'll figure out like where you're going to fall in. You know what I mean? Instead of like, here's your job and that's all you're going to do for the next 10 years. It's like, here's a few things, see what you
get to try it. Yeah,
because it's important. Like, you know, it's one thing to run something for a year, but I always think like 10 years down the road. Yeah. So you don't want people who are miserable. You don't want employees who are like doing the same shit every day and like hate what they're doing. You want people to like what they're doing. Exactly. That's going to be the best productivity and the best outcome.
Or else it stunts the growth of your company and everything around it. It just becomes like a bad vibe and like no one's digging it.
You got to invest like in the people. Like human capital is, you know, the biggest thing I've learned in the past 5 years of doing this is just like dealing with people and managing people and their expectations and what motivates them, and everyone's different. So I think if you're good with people, that's a skill in its own, like a management skill. So
that's very true though, because I think like if you invest in the person, you get more out of it than investing in like
for sure. And then turnover too. Every time, you know, let's say we have to get rid of someone and bring someone new in, that costs money and training. So if you can keep someone happy and they're going to grow with you for the next 10 years, you're going to
cost effective.
Yeah, you're going to be in a better boat.
So how did the name Elwood come up?
So Elwood was a skate brand it started in 1996. Okay. San Diego. And then for
skate and surf or just skate?
Skate and surf, really skate. Like I still have some of the old lookbooks from like the late 90s. And we had a bunch of amazing riders like Kenny Anderson, Anthony Papalardo. Like we had all these dope skaters. But then that whole industry, that's when like, you know, Billabong and Luca and the surf skate thing and Hurley, they were killing it.
Yeah, heavy.
This was before, you had like Supreme and Bape coming out of like Japan and New York. But this was before streetwear like we see today, this whole Yeezy track pant thing.
No, it was different.
It was surf skate. So that was okay for the first 10 years. And then it started to die and there wasn't enough business. Yeah. So we kind of hit a point of rock bottom and like, what do we want to do here? And we switched the whole product line to kind of what you see today, like, of just like of the moment. Yeah. I don't like to call it like fast fashion, but like we don't ever look at something and go, oh, we're not going to make this because that's not the Elwood brand.
Just do whatever.
Elwood brand is like, let's do whatever we want to do. Yeah. And at the end of the day, the customer is going to vote. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Especially because like seeing something that is there and like you get the most out of it, because like you said earlier with fashion being like so like our traditional fashion is like so like pre-book, you know, pass it along 8 months. That trend is gone, dude. So like being there with like instant fashion, I don't want to call it fast fashion either, but just like that instant like
for sure
brand or whatever.
For sure. And like you have, you know, you're competing now every time. You know, I meet with people all the time who like want to start a new brand or whatever. They want to slap their logo on a hoodie. Yeah. And I always tell people, you're competing with everyone else. You're competing with Zara. Yeah. And Zara is making full cut and sew turnaround production in 45 days. Yeah. That's hard to compete with.
And with that low price too.
Exactly. So the whole industry has just changed with the Forever 21s and H&Ms of the world. But ironically, now what we're seeing is like people are almost going back to wanting more like, one-of-one things. The customer now is getting more educated. We used to never talk about our fabrics of like, oh, this is a 60-40 CVC French terry, ring spun, 240 GSM. We would have never said that. But now like kids are like getting up on like, I know what a French terry is now. I know what a weight is of a fabric. So it's like they're just getting way more educated.
Yeah, and it keeps them in the loop too. They feel like they feel all excited, like, yo, this is this, this is that.
For sure.
So what's like the next step for like fashion, do you think, in general?
Well, I think, you know, what we're doing with a lot of these influencers, it really started with just influencers coming in here, whether they're artists or YouTubers or whoever, and just pulling Elwood product for promo. Here's a box of stuff. Go wear it. Tag us if you want. And then that worked for a little bit. Now they're coming in like, okay, I love your product. I want to make my own clothing line. How can I do that? Yeah. And they're not big enough to the point where they're going to get a contract with H&M or Adidas or Nike. Yeah. So like, you know, in the past, like Macy's had eyeballs, Kohl's had eyeballs. Now it's these kids on YouTube and Instagram and whatever the new Musical.ly.
Yeah, exactly.
They're the ones with the eyeballs. So they have, you know, Target has 1,800 stores. Well, they have 18 million followers. So like you're really paying for that access. And then if you can kind of be the ones to handle the production and the development. So that's really been our new thing, is like working directly with influencers to build product that we know their fans are going to like.
What's that been like? Like how do you like, what's it like been? I seen you post pictures like Odell and getting him dressed in that. How do you like that stuff? Does it feel good like seeing like someone? For
sure. Like it always feels good to see. It's different for me. If we give someone a piece of clothing and then they go wear it, it's not as exciting because, I gave that to them. I know. It's way more exciting when I see a random kid on the street and I'm like, oh shit, that's an Elwood hoodie. That's or just browsing
through Instagram or whatever and you pop it up.
And you see that. That's more important to me because, you know, at the end of the day, Odell, you know, that was a sick experience and he's a huge guy, but like he can go buy whatever brand he wants. So it's like when I see a kid take his paycheck that he's been saving up and go spend it on product that I created, that's bigger than any celebrity we could deal with.
Yeah, it's true. So you guys been pushing heavy like on social media and stuff like that?
Yeah, social media, and we're actually doing a pop-up on this Saturday with a couple of influencers. Okay. So we're going to turn this whole space you see here into like a pop-up shop.
It's perfect space for it, layout.
We have 500 RSVPs, so
you got a quick door right there, in and out.
We'll cycle them in. We'll have this set up like a shop, and that's kind of, in our opinion, the direct to the customer. Like they, you know, tweet out or Instagram out like, hey, come to my pop-up. They get all these people coming, and then we supply the product and the experience.
So, how do you guys like differentiate yourself from other brands that are kind of doing similar like fast style?
I think one is price point.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, like at the end of the day, people talk about, you know, clothing that's made sustainably or like whatever, it has a meaning behind it. At the end of the day, most people buy product if it's like priced right and if they like it.
True.
It's not that difficult. That's what matters at the end of the day. So if we can consistently do that year after year after year, it's kind of like natural growth. Elwood was never the biggest brand. You know, we only have we just got to 50,000 followers like this week. But we deliver consistent product, consistent fits, stuff doesn't fall apart. You know, it's inexpensive. It's not cheap. We don't cut corners just to save a nickel here and there. So I think if you can just offer a consistent product time and time again, like
that's the key.
It's gonna build.
Do you think having a big Instagram as well as like a great distribution helps?
That's the thing. Like you'll see a lot of brands that have, you know, the hundreds of thousands of followers, and they do a quarter of the volume.
Sales and volume.
So it's like we call them like Instagram brands, where like everyone thinks they're popping, thinks they're doing like all this business. At the end of the day, they're really
not doing shit.
It's a lot of hype and a lot of likes and all that. So you need distribution.
For sure.
That's why, you know, we work directly with the retailers. Like we do a line for Target. And
let's get into that.
Yeah. So about 4 years ago, I took a small little collection of Elwood product.
Yeah.
This was before Target had any sort of streetwear, any sort of young men's
Yeah,
product. They're doing the same buffalo check flannels
Yeah.
and chino pants over and over. They buy them 8-9 months out,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of boring. And we went in there, 2014, and we said, let's try this t-shirt that's a little longer in length.
Yeah.
Let's try this pant that has a jogger cuff on it.
Yeah.
They kind of looked at us like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's not their customer normally.
Yeah, this is a dress for men. It's
Yeah.
like, no, we're not doing that. Like, let's just try it. Put it in 20 of your stores.
Mhm.
So we got a 20 store test, and it blew out.
Sold out, yeah.
Then they give you 75 doors. It blows out.
Yeah.
And we worked our way up to 500 stores.
Shit.
And
That's pretty major.
Yeah, and then this fall, actually in a couple weeks, we're launching, the brand's called Original Use.
Mhm.
We're launching in all Targets.
Okay.
So this went from a small little niche, like, okay, well, I guess we'll try to go after this young men's streetwear customer,
Yeah.
to 4 years later, now they're just going after it in a huge way.
They might as well, dude, because they see
Yeah.
like the H&M, they see all the Zaras, and see all
For
that stuff.
And it goes back to like what we talked about, like guys in general. Like,
Yeah.
5-10 years ago, like I used to get made fun of like how I dressed.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
'cause it was almost like a bad thing if you were a guy and like you were so into your clothing.
Yeah.
Now, like I have so many friends that hit me up like, oh, where'd you get that? You know?
Yeah.
So I feel like guys in general are more and more comfortable with stepping outside of the box and wearing some of this crazy fashion stuff. So girls have gone through that growth. Every
sure.
girl is shopping on Instagram,
Yeah.
but like now you have these guys posting pictures and tagging their outfits.
Yeah.
It's like a whole new frontier.
Yes, there's like a huge Instagram page that I see that's always posting like outfits. So dudes are always
there's
snapping the outfits.
all sorts of like outfits of the day.
Yeah,
and have
exactly,
all
exactly.
these dudes, covering their face and the track pants
Yeah.
and the Yeezys. So it's just crazy to see that in the last 5-10 years of like men's fashion really picking up.
Yeah.
To the point where guys like want to see new trends,
Yeah.
want to try out new silhouettes, new fits. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, you got a
time.
unique style, bro. I've seen your Instagram and
Thank
stuff. You
you,
got a unique
appreciate
style.
it.
So now, who do you think that customer is in Target? Is it that younger guy going in there and copping stuff, or is it like a dude that's like 25, 30?
I think it's a mix. Like, so our target customer is like 16 to 24.
Yeah.
He's either still in high school or he's just getting into college.
Yeah.
But we also see a lot of guys who are, I'm 26 now and I
Yeah.
still dress pretty crazy. Like, so I think as our generation starts to get older,
Yeah.
you'll see more like 30-year-old guys wearing this type of stuff. So I think like I'm always super surprised like who I see in my clothes.
Mhm.
Like I'll see someone down the street wearing like an Elwood hoodie and I'll be like, damn, I did not expect you to be
Yeah,
wearing
rocking
that.
that,
But
yeah.
like, cheers. Like,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's tight.
So like we try and like be like, okay, this is our guest.
Mhm.
And then we always get surprised of like, it's a completely different person.
Yeah, for sure. So now, what's some advice that you'd have like on someone trying to get into those big buck stores like the Target, the Macy's, the stuff like that? Besides the skating, like that world.
Well, a lot of it is like, goes back to distribution.
Yeah.
You need to have
For sure,
warehousing.
yeah.
You need to have the right factory partnerships. You need to have QC people. We have an entire technical design team that's dedicated just to the fits of the garment.
Yeah.
So there's way more that goes into shipping a big box
Yeah.
than just like, oh, I have cool product,
Yeah.
buy it from me.
For sure.
It's really everything else.
Yeah.
Everyone can go show them a tall tee who can make that many units at this price for this delivery.
Yeah.
So I think it's more of the distribution, more of the
Distribution, for
business
sure.
side when working with those guys.
Yeah. Because it's like you said, dude, it's easy to go in with something, but then now can you make that times 1,000?
And then when we just had a meeting with Walmart and then they tell us, okay, we love this. We want 400,000 of
yeah.
these.
It's like shit.
And they all have to be perfectly the same.
Yep.
They need to be here by this date.
Yep.
So when you work with the big boxes, it becomes more production
Yeah.
and sourcing and quality control
Yep.
and less of like cool design.
Do you enjoy it?
For sure, because I went to business school,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like I kind of like that side
Yeah.
of it. I would choose the business side. Like I'll be completely honest, I'm not that designer kid.
Yeah.
I choose to be in this business to make money,
Mhm.
and that's my first passion business. My second passion is clothing. So if I wasn't doing clothing, I would be doing something else. So I enjoy the business side of it.
Yeah.
But it is, the clothing industry is a multi-trillion-dollar industry.
Huge.
It's competitive.
Yeah.
It's fast and it's fucking ruthless. So like,
For sure, yeah.
if you want to get in this industry, you need to be a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
You need to be willing to just like do whatever it
You need to have
takes.
that dog in you too. Just
Yeah.
like go get it.
And it's like every nothing in the clothing industry, you can't copyright anything. So you can copyright a logo,
For
like
sure.
the Supreme logo, you can copyright that. Actually, Supreme,
it's everywhere.
well, James Jebbia, the guy who started Supreme, to this day, they don't even have Supreme copyrighted.
Yeah.
The product's copyrighted, but the Supreme, the name itself, is not copyrighted.
Because it's probably hard to get that.
Hard. Supreme, it's too general.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of like...
No, you're good.
So we're talking about Supreme, copyrights.
Like, do you enjoy it and stuff like that side of it?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, yes. And what I was saying is like you can't copyright anything. So like if you make a really dope product, in 3 weeks,
expect it to get
you're
ripped.
You're gonna see it at Zara, you're gonna see it at H&M, and that's good to go. That's fair business.
Yeah.
It's like food. You can go to every single restaurant and you'll see a cheeseburger on the menu, a taco on the menu. That's why you see so many restaurants. Same thing with clothing. You see so many brands pop up that can do a track pant because no one can copyright a track pant. So it becomes that like getting that next PO. You have to fight for every purchase order.
Literally,
every order you have to fight for. So it's not like, okay, I created this product. Now I sit back and watch
just chill
the sales
out. Yeah. No.
Okay, I created this. I got to start working on the next line.
Yeah.
And if that next line doesn't hit, I'm going to be in trouble. So you have to, it's like back to the consistency. People have a great season or a great 2 seasons. You need to be able to replicate
get
that
comfy,
year
huh?
after year after year. And if you don't, you'll be
screwed.
out.
Yeah. So what do you think about like some of like the old brands coming back now, like the Champion and shit like that?
I think that heritage play, like, you go into like PacSun now and it's all
Dude, it's
Adidas,
all heritage stuff in there.
Urban, it's all heritage stuff. I think one, it's just the whole 90s thing. Like I feel like the 90s and even like 80s trends
are back,
are coming back.
Yeah.
And I also think it's a little bit of like laziness, you know what I mean? On the retailer's part of like, okay, I can try and find that next new graphic brand, or I can just buy some more Adidas and I know it's going to sell. So it's like kind of the safe play for them. But yeah, it's crazy to see all those brands like Fila and
I never expected Fila to come back.
And
like,
you go to Agenda, you see like the Kangol button, the bucket hats coming back and all that stuff.
90s is back.
90s is back, and we're starting to see a lot of this like workwear. So like, you know,
are you incorporating that?
We're starting to work on like, you know, corduroy again.
Oh, corduroy, like, shit, dude.
Like mechanic style jackets. A lot of denim outerwear pieces.
Oh, like that Dickie style looking thing?
Dickie style, like Carhartt, very like workwear inspired. So that just goes back to like our product line is always changing.
Evolving,
it may look streetwear one day, workwear the next day, surf skate might come back. And we may go back to making that's OG Elwood product 5 years from now. I don't know. But like I said, I kind of like that challenge of like always kind of being on the next thing. So
I like that stuff too, dude. I like how every season you can expect something else.
For sure.
Yeah. So I bought some Elwood like track pant. I saw on like the sponsor page popped up, so I copped a pair. I was like, they're tight, like they're daily just track pant. So now let's get into some like your personal stuff. Like, what do you like? How do you stay motivated?
Well,
if that's a general question, but just like,
I mean, for the most part, I've always been pretty driven. Even on things like school. I mean, not as much in college, but in high school, I got straight A's. I didn't love school, but I was always that kid of like, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to try and give my best effort. So it's more like at the end of the day, I want to go to sleep at night knowing that like I'm trying my best and doing my best. So that really keeps me going. And I'm not going to be all like holy out here. I do it for the money. Of course. You know, I want to make money. I want to be able to provide for my family. So at the end of
nice
the day,
car, nice house, all that good stuff.
I think about like my future kids, and like, that's really what drives me today. You know, it's funny because like the cars and everything, when you don't have the money, they seem like everything. Like, oh, if I just drive this car and have this watch and live in like this apartment, I'll be happy. And then you get to a point where you can actually afford it, and you're like, wait, why did I want to spend that on a car or a watch? So it's funny, like your motivations just change
and, like, when you get the money.
I just want to be comfortable. I want to be able to like retire early and like not have to wake up every day and go to an office. So that's what drives me. It's
vacation maybe.
I just got back from Hawaii.
How was that?
That was amazing. So like the experiences and the travel, and I love like the freedom of money, not necessarily what it can buy you, but you know, once you have that certain amount of money, no one can tell you where to be and what time to be there and all that, and you can just kind of do your own thing.
That is very true.
I want to be there, you know, I want to be able to spend as much time as I can with my kids and not be in an office for 10 hours a day. So that's really what,
especially being that 9 to 5 stuff. Like you obviously aren't doing that. You're doing your own thing, building your future.
Yeah.
But
I'm definitely still here every
grinding.
day.
Yeah, grinding.
Like 8,
I know
9, 10 hours.
Being a business owner or working this way, it's a 24/7 job.
It's kind of like, it's almost like a catch-22. It's like the more success you get, is like the more you have to.
Yeah. You got to stay in there.
It's like what I said. It's no like, okay, I did this work, now I got to kick back.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, now I got to replicate this over and over.
Let's do it again.
I got 5 more employees, so it's just crazy.
Yeah. So, would you have any outside passions? Like, what do you like to do outside of work?
Surfing and music.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, music is really what got me into clothing. So I'm constantly, keeping up with all that in that industry.
Yeah.
And then I love I still go out to Malibu like almost every weekend, chilling at the beach. I live with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
We've been together for almost 2 years now.
Nice.
So I live a pretty simple life now. It's more about just work and that. I have 3 sisters. We all live like in Venice.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time with my family.
Do you enjoy working out or anything like that?
Yeah, and I grew up playing sports.
Yeah, so you're trying to stay healthy.
Yeah, I played football and lacrosse in high school. And that was something that always, like, if I go for like 4 or 5 days without working out, I'll go fucking crazy.
It feels weird, yeah.
So
that's a good balance.
It's definitely something like you have to have, and it helps with the mental too.
For sure. Yeah, it's mental.
I don't really care at this point, like, if I have a chiseled 6-pack. It's more of like, if I don't work out, I'm going to go crazy mentally. Yeah. I need to, like, exert my...
It all starts with that, bro, because, like, literally, like, I feel like it all trickles down. If you have, like a good mental health, physical health, and then it trickles down into like being a good businessman, being a good like boyfriend, just like being a good person.
For sure. And then like as you get older, not to say I'm like old.
Yeah.
I'm 26 now. It's a lot different than when I was 20 years old. So what I want out of life, what I want day to day is very different. I don't go party anymore. I don't go to the club. So I live a much like simpler life, and to your point, it's just more about being content. Yeah. And it's like, you ever listen to like Gary Vee?
Yeah, hell yeah.
He always talks about like, the struggle and the process, and like if you can find like happiness within like the grind and not the end result. That's really what keeps you going.
Yeah, I agree with that too, dude. Because once you get to that end result, you just become lazy and it just kind of just like saturated. That chase is always a good thing.
Yeah, and it takes there's no such thing as an overnight success. Like we see it. Yeah. Like, oh my God, this person's huge now, but you didn't see the past 10 years of their life
grinding
of like what they so the overnight success to me is a 10-year play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For that one little moment or that one whatever.
You never know when it's gonna
hit. You
never know when your next collection is gonna be the big one that lands all of your accounts
blows
or whatever
up,
it is. So you just gotta kind of like keep chopping away at the tree.
Yeah, seriously.
Eventually, it's gonna come to you.
Yeah. Do you have any idols? Do you look up to anyone?
I think my biggest idol growing up and still to this day is Kobe.
For sure.
Like,
okay.
Of his mentality and like
Mamba.
I remember like being a kid going to Lakers game and like even if we were down by 10, you just never thought we were gonna lose when Kobe was on the court.
For sure. Yeah.
He had that like Mamba mentality. He didn't get frazzled. So I always saw that, and at that high of a level, to be able to keep your composure like that, that's like everything. So even today, like, employees come up to me like super panicked, like, oh shit, like what do we do? And I was like, it's gonna be okay. Like we need to get this done. Like we gotta do this, this, and this. So I think if you can kind of like keep that composure. So Kobe was a big one to me. And then like, in clothing, what Virgil's doing,
killing it, dude. That guy's on fire right now. Like, he took a screen printing brand to Louis Vuitton.
Because I remember when he came out with Pyrex.
I
was doing something similar at the time. Buying Champion blanks and screen printing a white logo on it. And then to your point, 6 years later, he's running the one of the largest, most heritage fashion houses in the world. That's like it's something else.
Does that motivate you? Does that like do you feel like you could do something like that?
I feel yes and no. I don't think, like I said, like I want to be successful so that I can enjoy like my life, and I know what comes with that. He now is kind of almost a slave to his own name. He's expected to be great.
True.
He's expected to come out with the dopest Louis Vuitton collection, keep Off-White running, keep his collabs running, and then all of a sudden that's great. You have all this money, but you can't enjoy it.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of that
you can't
because
go fuck off on a beach. You got to be in Paris for Fashion Week. Then you got to be in Milan. You know what I mean? So it's like I think
comes with both sides.
I could do that, but like I don't know if I would want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like I see that, I'm like, wow, power to.
At least the motivation just kind of like to hit.
Yeah, like
you know?
holy shit, like you really like went from a t-shirt brand to this.
Yeah.
And then just like what, you know, Jerry Lorenzo did with Fear of God.
Dude, that shit's killing it. I feel like some big brand's gonna buy it out. Like,
yeah, well, they're doing, you know, they do their PacSun stuff. They did the FOG.
Yeah, Fog.
And now they're doing the Essentials brand with PacSun, which is, you know, it just goes to show like he's had some really great Fear of God collections, but how long can you sustain that $1,000 pair of denim when now you can go into H&M and buy a pair of perfectly destructed light indigo
or
denim.
some Elwood stuff.
Stuff. So now you see him, okay, what's next? I got to start, you know, a diffusion line of Essentials or whatever it is.
He for sure felt that, or like someone was in his ear like, yo, we got to kind of bring...
Someone on the business side was in his ear and was like, yo, this is great now while it's happening, but like this whole thing of selling this a $500 t-shirt or a $1,200 hoodie,
it can only last for so long.
It can only be a few collections long, especially when he doesn't brand a lot of his stuff. He does a couple Fear of God pieces, but like a lot of his stuff's just like a drop shoulder bomber jacket. So like I said, back to the legality thing, when Zara can do the same thing at $24.99, you got to think like, hey, how do I compete with that?
Those are for sure your competitors. Not just you, but just like in general, like fashion.
Everyone. Like I said, people. I meet with kids a lot that like come in and they want to start a brand. And they always ask for like, you know, what's your advice?
I was just gonna ask that question too. What's your advice? We'll get into that.
Well, it's what I said earlier. It's like you're competing every time, you know, someone pulls out money from their wallet. You're competing for that dollar. So why are they gonna go buy your hoodie that says a name brand that no one's ever heard of? Why wouldn't they go buy a Zara hoodie or a Fear God hoodie or a Supreme hoodie
or Elwood?
But so I think when people start things, it's what I said before of like, you have to think of the business side. If I have this dope idea for a t-shirt company, I'm going to start making t-shirts and the sales are just going to come. It's really not.
No, it's true.
So like you need to find a white space, an opportunity. What's the market missing? What are kids looking for that's not being addressed? And how can I fill that void? Instead of just making product and pushing it out there, doing your research and doing it reverse.
That's heavy.
You know what I mean? So that's what we did with Target. Like we didn't go to them and say, hey, we really like our product. Like put it in your stores. It was like, hey, we've studied your floor pad for the past 6 months. You have nothing like this. We think there's a big white space. Here are the numbers. And then kind of work backwards from there. So I think you have to understand like the business side first and what you want out of it. Do you want to be a Zara? Do you want to be a Virgil? Do you want to be a Supreme? Those are all very different steps. Those are all very different business models. So if you just dive into it and don't think about that, you're going to make a lot of wrong decisions, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but you have to know like what your end goal is. You know what I mean?
And don't come in with that big head too. I feel like,
no one, it goes back to the Gary Vee thing. Like no one gives a fuck. Like if you think you have a cool idea or no one cares, you know, who your parents are or what color your skin is. Like at the end of the day, if you have a great product, that's really what matters.
That drives it. I think that drives it for sure. So now we're kind of wrapping this up. So like, what are some, I like to say 3 things that you're into currently, like a TV show, Netflix, like a food spot.
Okay.
Kind of like
my favorite food spots. I mean, you can find them all over LA, but King Taco.
Okay.
Tacos. Me and my girl, like every night we just go get beef. No, like not even if we like go out to the taco
you do it yourself.
We'll just cook up a bunch of beef. I will eat 8 tacos with my eyes closed every single night for the rest of my life and be happy. So I'm like a pretty simple eater. In terms of like TV shows and stuff, I don't know if you've seen Blacklist. It's kind of an older show. It's like an AMC show.
It's like the murder stuff, right?
It's kind of cheesy. It's like super over the top. Every episode there's like a huge plot twist.
That sounds cool. I watch a little bit of it sometimes.
But we binge watched that for the past like 2 months. Just every single episode. And then in terms of music, in terms of like hip hop, to be honest, like this whole new, you know, like not to say mumble rap, but like the Lil Yachty's and like Lil Uzi Verts and all that.
All the face tat dudes.
I don't love it. Like the Lil Skies, and I think there's something to it. It's very commercial. You know, they can sell it on the radio and all that. I don't sit there and listen to that stuff. I really like the Daniel Caesar.
He's dope too. I like him.
More like
Smooth.
Woods,
Yeah.
Bozzy,
Yeah.
like all those guys who are making like more the music pushes, less like rap.
Yeah. I like that stuff too. I feel like it's just like smooth.
Yeah,
like
sure.
gives you a vibe kind of
For
thing.
sure.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like even with brands now, I love this I love vintage shopping.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing to go into a huge store and buy a piece that you see 10 more of them and
Yeah.
you walk down the street and another guy's wearing it.
Yeah.
I love walking into a vintage store and finding like a dope jacket that I know no one else will have.
Yeah.
So like I love going vintage shopping. And then going to the beach.
Chilling. Yeah.
Just chilling.
I went to the beach the other day too. I haven't been in a while, but it felt nice just to.
It's so fucking hot. Even right now.
Yeah.
Here we don't have AC in here yet. It's really sweating.
Yeah, no, it's all good though.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it, man. Do you want to plug some of your Instagram, some of the brand websites and stuff?
So Elwood Clothing, at Elwood Clothing is our Instagram, and our website's just elwoodclothing.com,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the main one to go to. And then if you're in a Target in the next few weeks, we're dropping Original Use.
Dope.
So that's going to be their young men's brand. That'll be in mainly every single Target.
Yeah.
Then we have a Jaywalker brand, which is in Macy's.
Macy's, yep.
And then if you have kids, little nephews, whatever it is, we do the Art Class brand for Target.
Okay.
That's a bunch of really cool fashion stuff. But Elwood's probably the main one.
And then where can they find you?
I'm at jackson.svg. That's my Instagram.
Dope.
I'm not like, I don't know if you follow me, but I'm not like super active. I try and post. It's one of those things where it's like I should post more.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing stuff here that I could be posting. It's just it's a little out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
It's like I have to remember to like grab my phone. Like fuck, I should probably be recording this.
Yeah.
But yeah, jackson.svg.
Dope.
Follow me on there.
Dope. Thanks for holding that heavy ass mic.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming on, brother.
Of course, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Appreciate it. Yeah. That's it, guys. Enjoy that episode. Thanks.